What's up guys, welcome back. Now in this video we're going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch third-party support, AAA third-party support. This has been a topic of discussion on this channel for the past, since forever really, since I started talking about Nintendo regularly. I think back in 2014 onward, I've always brought up AAA third-party support and how Nintendo really needs to focus on it and get more consistent third-party support for their consoles. Back when the Wii U was struggling to get sales and really had a hard time getting any third-party support, much less have anything lead the sales charts for it during that time. So what we're talking about here is the Nintendo Switch leading the NPD sales for April 2019. And that's not too surprising when you think about it, since the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are on the way out and the next gen systems have already been announced, basically just waiting to be revealed. However, it did win the NPD for April 2019. But most importantly, in my opinion at least, for the first time since Mario plus Rabbids way back in August 2017, a AAA third-party game has led all software sales for a Nintendo console, for their home console basically. However, I'm not going to count Mario plus Rabbids, to be honest with you, because that had Mario on the cover. It was basically a Nintendo first-party helped AAA third-party game using Nintendo's IP and everything. What we have here in April 2019 is the first time since I can remember, since maybe even the Wii days, that I've seen a AAA third-party game lead software sales for a Nintendo home console. I do believe Mortal Kombat 11, which did lead the sales for the Nintendo Switch for all games, including beating Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the month of April, is the first time in many years that this has happened, and this is very exciting news for what we're going to talk about in this video. But going back to the sales charts, Mortal Kombat 11 was number 1, followed by Days Gone, MLB 19 The Show, Tom Clancy's The Division 2, and then at number 5 it was Smash Bros. Ultimate. Mortal Kombat 11 of course was on all platforms, including the PC, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and Nintendo Switch, but it was noted by the NPD report that the Mortal Kombat 11 version for the Switch was the best-selling piece of software for the Switch platform itself, beating out Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which means that the individual SKU for Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch placed higher than the 5th placed Super Smash Bros. Ultimate on the overall NPD charts for the entire month of April. So that is amazing when you think about it. I remember back in the day, way back in the GameCube era, Soul Calibur 2 was the best-selling version of the game on the GameCube. However, it did have Link in the game. That was one of the only times a Nintendo third-party game actually sold the best out of all 3 platforms between PS2 and Xbox Original. But of course, we don't have the actual numbers provided here for Mortal Kombat 11, how well the Switch version did. However, we do know, like we brought out, that it did outsell the Nintendo leading first-party game Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which I believe has sold over 14 million already on the Switch. And regarding this, I posted a tweet today talking about the impact this has on the Switch. I said, Mortal Kombat 11 on Switch is showing fans, Nintendo, and big third-party devs that if you bring a quality AAA game day and date, it can carry your console without help from just first party. Why do you think PS4 is almost at 100 million sold? I've been saying this since Wii U. So basically what I'm saying here is that yes, AAA third-party, big AAA third-party games can in fact sell consoles and actually lead sales charts for these console manufacturers. In fact, Microsoft has made a killing on third-party support since their first party has not been that great. They've heavily relied on AAA third-party, and they've made a lot of money doing so. You can look at their yearly earnings in their game divisions. They make millions and millions of dollars just on third-party revenue generated on the Xbox platform. So Nintendo, as I brought out many times over the years, before the Switch was even a thing and way back in the Wii U, is that Nintendo can make a killing on AAA third-party on their platform if they're able to get it to sell on the platform, and of course have the install base to sell those games to it. And for the Nintendo Switch, it has been very limited and few and far between for these AAA games. However, this is a great breakthrough that Nintendo themselves and AAA third-party developers should pay very close attention to these sales for Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch. This was one that many fans are paying very close attention to when the game was first announced for the Nintendo Switch and the other platforms. The question was if it was going to be 60 frames per second and play the same as the other versions, and if it was going to be content complete and not missing any features. And those things were in fact fulfilled for the most part on the Nintendo Switch, besides of course the low resolution of the graphics. But the actual gameplay is exactly the same and the content is exactly the same as the other versions. and of course you can play it in portable mode and at home. And it does look like all those things combined have led to this game leading the sales for Nintendo Switch for the first time that I can remember for any AAA game. Of course, since I'm removing Mario plus Rabbids from the list, since it did have first party representation in that game, I'm not going to count it. And this is the big reason why PlayStation 4 has been so successful. They have a very good balance of all the AAA third party support there is on the market, plus all the indie support on the market, plus their really great first party support that they have on the PlayStation 4. God of War, Spider-Man, Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted, the upcoming Last of Us 2, and Ghost of Tsushima. Sony over the years has had the time to build their first party software and take their time with it, taking a page from Nintendo's book and actually delaying their first party games by years in some cases, and it's led to great results on their front because they've actually taken a lot more time to make these games and they've turned out very well. And the reason why they were able to do that was because of that AAA third-party support that they have on the PlayStation brand that can carry the software sales for them during the months that they don't have the big first-party release on their console. Each year they have maybe at least 2 games or 3 tops that have that big push for their first-party development studios. And all the rest is AAA third-party support. And then when you look on the Nintendo side, Nintendo has put it on themselves to push out so many games as fast as possible, constantly doing so to try to push those sales, putting the pressure on themselves to sell as many pieces of hardware as they can, which has been successful to this point for the Nintendo Switch. However, in the beginning of 2018 and the first half of 2019 this year, they do in fact have a lot of software droughts as far as their first party is concerned, which in turn leads to the importance of AAA third-party support on the Nintendo brand, which is what we're seeing here with a very good example of Mortal Kombat 11 picking up the slack where Nintendo was missing for the month. Obviously, Nintendo didn't have any new first-party releases or big ones in April. So what happened was that Mortal Kombat 11 picked up that slack and actually drove sales for the Nintendo platform, which is outstanding, guys. You guys should be really excited for this and really excited for what this can bring in the future, for quite possibly Nintendo's new consoles coming that are heavily rumored with an enhanced version of the Switch and of course the Switch Lite. The prospect of having actual AAA third-party support, let's make that word clear, support, not first-party replacement, but third-party support, meaning that they support your platform when you're making your first-party AAA games for your own console, which is Nintendo, giving those first-party games more time in the oven. Then quite possibly you can have games taking longer in development, putting more quality, putting more content in them, and not necessarily being rushed or having a certain deadline to meet, then coming to the point where the game is not completed and then having to release it anyway, and then having to continually patch it as you go. That should be a very minimal occurrence, especially for Nintendo software and first-party games. So then you wouldn't have instances with Xenoblade Chronicles 2, for example, with poor performance and bugs in that game when it was released, and then other examples like Kirby and Mario Tennis that felt unfinished upon release, in my opinion. Not to mention Mario Party. All these games felt to me that they were a lot more cut down experiences, a lot smaller than what they could have been, especially in the second year of the Switch's life. If Nintendo instead had a few big AAA third-party games in those months where they didn't have first-party software or big first-party software that could pick up the slack, that gives them more time to take a step back, take a look at the software that they have, and focus on the really high-quality efforts that they can release and then make those better, instead of trying to release them as soon as possible and then ending up with games that are a little bit less polished, have a little bit more bugs in them, run a little bit worse than what they could be, thus affecting the overall quality of the software. That is exactly the whole purpose of what AAA third-party support is there for. It's there to support your platform, to help it grow. It's all an ecosystem of games, and if the platform holder, which is Nintendo, works out just right, they plan their releases so the big AAA games that are releasing on all platforms, which would hopefully be releasing on their platform, would release at a certain time, of course, that they're planning, and then Nintendo's first party efforts would then follow suit at a different time range, so they would also get the most benefit of sales, thus driving the console sales growth together with those AAA games that already did release either before or after their first party games released on their platform. Then your console becomes this revolving door of continuous high quality AAA software from all developers, including Nintendo and all the AAA developers themselves. So it turns into this platform that's basically never ending, which is your hope, right? And you just continue to get month after month after month of big games on your console, and it all snowballs from there. That's exactly what PlayStation has done with their brand. And this here with Mortal Kombat 11 on the Switch leading the sales for the console for the month of April is exactly the kind of thing Nintendo needs to keep doing and keep pushing for with their next generation systems that they have in development. This is a great start for Nintendo on the Switch. It shows that a AAA game can sell on the Nintendo console without the help of Nintendo themselves, all standing on its own by the AAA developer for the Nintendo system. So this is great news, guys. I hope you're excited for what this could bring in the future. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section. If you did enjoy this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you very soon in the next video. Have a great day.